What was the most ridiculous thing you ever got told off for at work? I have asthma, so sometimes I'll breathe out a bit heavy if I'm not getting enough oxygen. It doesn't happen often. One time I was told off for doing it because apparently it sounded like I was in a bad mood. And it's unprofessional. So basically I was told off for breathing. If anyone can top that, I'd love to hear about it. Pretty new at my job. Work in medical, so often the only guy. Start hearing screams in the lobby for help. Two teens starting a fist fight and just about to start rolling on some poor old lady, so I grabbed one and got them separated. My boss almost fired me for getting in the middle of it. Next time I am supposed to let grandma get a skateboard in the face, I guess. Once my sister went missing. I was on the phone talking to my parents. The police. My boss asked me what I was doing. I explained. He said don't let it happen again. Walking too slowly. Manager actually called me into the fucking back office to tell me that I walked too slowly. I walk at a normal speed. I have chronic pain. And I have to pace myself during an 8-hour shift. It's not like it was a big store. Either. It's fucking Staples. Nobody needs me to run to get them a ream of printer paper. Chill the fuck out, you asshole. I told a pregnant woman she should ask about working from home. She was having contractions in the office and left. They had the baby that month. But my manager hated that I said working from home was possible. I got fired for going to a group lunch with an owner. The HR payroll lady said I didn't ask her permission. I told her my direct manager approved it. She said he doesn't have the authority, lol. Was told in a performance review that I use my stapler too loudly. I used to have an old metal stapler. I'd give it a good whack to make sure the staple went through my thick sheaf of paperwork properly. Not taping a box correctly. It was taped damn near perfect with specific reinforcement in certain places. Manager went on a complete rampage and spent 30 minutes doing a box assembly lesson. How to fill it, tape it. It was like watching a small child flail around on the with a tape gun. I got told talking about pay is a big no-no. If I had it in writing, I'd have a big payday. My supervisor was about 4 months late sending out an important check and didn't respond to me for a month after I asked her about it. So I asked our accounts payable person about it, and I got chewed out on the email thread by my supervisor, who I had CC'd. Her boss made her apologize. But the damage was done. I got told I needed to do more cardio despite being diagnosed with severe asthma. When I told her about it, she claimed that I needed to get it fixed before I returned to work. Never went back because, well, you can't fix asthma. Tears of joy. I got sent home an orange beanie in 30°F weather. I was told to take it off. Refused as I was doing groundskeeping work outside. And got sent home. They graciously decided not to write me up after I complained to upper management. This was at a low-end apartment complex. Not smiling enough. It was a security job. Also, alleged bad handwriting. I was on a field assignment over Christmas and New Year's to cover for a coworker who wanted to spend the holidays with family. I was young and single and was happy to help out my friend. This was just before the time of cell phones. So when I called my parents on Christmas, it was a long-distance call from the hotel. I was charged about $5 for the call at the time. I was reprimanded for making the call on Christmas to my parents while on an assignment that wasn't my job. Customer got mad I wouldn't sell them the pants I was wearing while working in a retail store. Not the same pants. The actual pants on my body that were from the previous season and no longer available. She was so angry that she actually came over a counter at me and had to be kicked out. Fun fact, we were definitely not anywhere near the same size. Customer service of any sort is a shit job. Existing. It's more important to be pretty and popular than to be good at your job. I don't work there anymore. By 4 p.m. on Friday I had worked 60 hours, so I was going to leave a little early and still come in that Saturday for overtime, but was told that's not how it works and I wasn't dedicated. Sitting in a chair while teaching. No, not making this up. My coworker wasn't even just a bit peeved at it either. She treated me like I was some sort of insensitive monster. Got told I was giving attitude for being sleep deprived. Didn't get sleep the night prior and told my boss I needed to leave early that day, and he said my tone was unacceptable. When I explained, was told leave your personal life at home. Sorry, I didn't have the energy to care. Having to take time off for a cancer screening after getting back an abnormal pap smear that showed severe cervical dysplasia combined with potentially malignant cell growth. I was 20. Got assaulted. A point was drunk in public and assaulted multiple people. When police arrived, he assaulted 2 cops. Was taken to jail but was too drunk and assaultive there. Brought to where he assaulted multiple nurses, including breaking 1 collarbone. He punched me and I filed a report and charges. Was instructed by management to write a paper on what I could have done differently to prevent being hit. I handed in my 2 weeks' notice. My boss once told me that my turtleneck sweaters were too sexy for work. It was the reason her husband were getting a divorce. I'd never met her husband, knew nothing about her family. The woman was insane. I was just a pantry prep cook. And I smelled the Sunday brunch biscuits burning, so I pulled M out of the oven and placed M on top of the oven so the vent could suck up the smoke. I didn't even put them in there. And the owner who makes them in they are the best and family recipe rips me a new one saying I was trying to hide them and nobody cares about this place, and he grabs a burnt ass biscuit and throws it and hits the dishy. He tells me to fuck off and go home. Then calls me about an hour later because a 20 top came in and they were short-handed. After months of being mistreated by the MSP I worked for, my small business tyrant of a boss was upset that I put in my 2 weeks over email, i.e., in writing. I got in trouble for ending up in the emergency room while pregnant with a kidney stone. My manager was so sure that I was lying she kept calling with stupid questions. The doctor ended up taking my phone, yelling at her. I got fired for not showing up on my day off. I had a manager go off on me because my coworker asked if she could dry clean the tablecloths for me. We worked in corporate events. I told my coworker to ask our manager since manager assigned this task directly to me. She asked and manager dismissed her and in her office, with the door wide open for the feast of the area to hear how upset she was that I disobeyed her. Worst boss ever. For putting in minimum effort. After my boss disappeared for holiday in the 2 weeks before a big visit from the company owners visited, and me and my girls worked like hell to get this place perfect. I shit you not. So now I work my wage and the place is burning around me. But I'm only putting in minimum effort from now on. Which is more than she fucking does. Sitting on the floor. Worked for a large freight company. Was having computer issues. So I called our tech support and they sorted me out. Was a common issue with our system. They had fixed the issue for others at the depot. Apparently that was wrong. My manager. Toxic bitch. I'm looking at you, Donna. Lost her shit at me. To this day. This was 10 years ago. I have no idea what I did wrong. Crazy fucking cow.